news fans, and welcome to Newsview, even those of you who aren't fans. Um, this is Newsview, and tonight I've got some news stories, some comments, and um, I'll mention the email address later in the show. Now, tonight, about uh, Wednesday night was the President's State of the Union address. It was President Obama's first State of the Union address, and I almost watched it on television, but instead I decided to watch it on the internet. I decided to watch Channel 6 News Online's coverage, which was off of Boston's PBS station, I think, and Ryan T., who I believe was in New York, was the main anchor. They had some technical problems, unfortunately, but you can find them online someplace like YouTube and their websites, respectively. Now, Obama did, I believe, bring up nuclear power and oil. I don't remember everything he said. The speech was kind of long. I was busy in Channel 5's chat room. Channel 6. Sorry. Which was interesting, to say the least. Ryan T. was pretty distracted by it, and Elliot gave his usual glowing comments in favor of the president, and it was a different experience for me. It's not the first time I've done the news, watch the news and chat while you do it thing that is now on some websites. I know sometimes at WCFN show, their website, they have a chat room. They give away prizes if you're in the chat room. So that's interesting. Tonight, though, it's supposed to get very cold. Now, some reports are saying that temperatures will dip down to as cold as 5 degrees on Friday night to Saturday morning, while I believe the other sources say 17 degrees. It's cold either way. One's colder. It's still below freezing, so anything below freezing to me is cold. That's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. That's freezing. And we've had a lot of weather this winter so far below that. Like I've said before, I do plan and hope to get more weather information officially for this show and any other shows not any other, if I do get another show, I'd want weather for it too. But this is what we've got so far, so bundle up, get out the blankets, get your jackets, coats, hats, earmuffs, scarves, whatever you need. Get that out and wear them. Mittens, gloves, because it's going to be another cold night, it looks like, for Friday night into Saturday morning. That's all I know about it, and Um, Thank you for tuning in. Um, we're here until 9:30. Um, this show is taped, though. It's recorded anyway, I think taped. And it will be on, well, now when you're seeing it. And like I've said before, this is Thursday when I tape this, so if there's any breaking news, you'll want to turn to other sources on Friday night after this show. If you haven't seen any news for a while, I get pretty busy working on this show, preparing, um, thinking about it, preparing for another show possibly besides this one, and um, I do other things. I do like to watch old movies, cartoons. I like to listen to jazz, Christian 80s, and TV music. And if you have any comments about that, you can send them to my email address here. Or if you have any news tips, tip me off to any new stories. You can email that to me at newsview@email.com. That's newsview@email.com. Pretty simple, huh? Anyway, there's another story which I haven't seen covered anywhere else really, although it may have been, and that is the new crosswalk signal lights on, I believe, Bradley Avenue near the Kraft Foods plant uh, between Madison and Prospect. This is a set of signal lights over this road, Bradley Avenue, I believe, that when the light turns red, I think they might flash alternately. Well, anyway, when they do that or turn red, you have to stop at the crosswalk I believe it's between the two bus stops on either side of the road, if I'm right. You can see for yourself if you drive by there, and there are signs, and I'm not sure exactly how long it's been there. Um, I did report earlier, a few weeks back, or months back, about the Mayfair and Kirby new signal lights. Those are regular signal lights for a regular intersection, but these on Bradley are a special set of pedestrian crosswalk lights. And now, um, sports. Um, I'd like to get more sports news in, and we'll see what comes of that. I'm wearing my Illini shirt tonight. It's orange, you can see. And like I've said before, go Illini. And here in Urbana-Champaign, or Champaign-Urbana as it's often referred to, I've seen it referred to as other funnier nicknames as well. And, well, all I can say is Champaign-Urbana is pretty good most of the time. We have our problems like anywhere else, but most of the time we're a pretty good place. And I'd just like to thank all of you for watching, and I think right now we'll go to a break. Welcome back to Newsview. Now, what I have here for the next story is I didn't clear this with them, but I'm giving the credit to WANDTV.com. I hope that's okay. I'm not going to quote it, but here, I don't know if you can see that. It says here in Champaign, I saw this on the News Gazette's website too. A woman who was being invaded by a burglar in her home, well, she took an axe to one of these guys. This was on Freedom Boulevard, and they got away. She also turned her car alarm on, I guess after hitting one of the men with an axe. They drove off in a white SUV, quote, end quote. And that's from WAND News. I don't have the News Gazette copy, but here's the WAND version. And in other news, I have something here from the Pantagraph, which is the Bloomington, Illinois paper, about Busey Bank. Same story here as with the WAND story. The headline reads, quote, after 2009 loss, local Busey Bank chief says profits will return. Now, Busey Bank is headquartered in Champaign or Urbana or both. It says here based in Champaign. Well, they posted a big $29.2 million net loss in 2009, or 49 cents per share, and that's a quote. Not all of it, but anyway, here's one thing. Now, here's my commentary on this. Why, in the past year or two, have I been seeing people refer to banks as banking centers? I don't understand this. Why not just keep calling them banks? It says here banking centers. Again, I have seen that before, but does anybody know why people are now preferring to call banks banking centers? It's just one of those strange things to me that they do now. They used to just call them banks. Now they're banking centers. Let's see. I quote here, the Pantagraph says, First Busey is well positioned to begin paying back the $100 million it received through the federal government's Troubled Asset Relief Program, or TARP, he said. But the bank is holding onto its capital for the first time. Um, for the first time. I lost it. Sorry. Being in case of growth opportunity arises, Fazzini said, though he expects a payback plan later in 2010. Okay, so Busey Bank should bounce back. It's a long-standing bank in the area. We've got lots of banks in this area, don't you think? If you have any comments or questions about that, you can reach us at, or me anyway, at newsview@email.com. Um, so we covered the lady who scared off burglars with an axe, or whatever they were, men with an axe in Champaign. We've talked about the State of the Union address and what I did. I sort of listened to it while I was busy chatting in Channel 5 News, or Channel 6 News. I'm sorry, they were partnered with Channel 5 News. So that's why I keep getting it mixed up. Newsview will probably have a website sometime soon. Hopefully this year. Not sure yet. I do have the Newsview Facebook fan group or page, and that will give you updates. They'll give you updates. I usually say when another edition is coming up or has come up, and will be when it will be on and what channel. And I have a link to the YouTube channel where I post the beginnings of Newsview. And when I say beginnings, I mean I just have the first few minutes up or less because of editing programs I use. I'll have to buy one someday, probably. I think I have to keep editing out the open, though. One time I accidentally got a little of it stuck in there, not much, so I hope that's okay, and I may go back and fix that later. Hopefully UPTV here, which has been very nice, especially since 2008, will get their website to the point where I can post up all Newsview editions right there so you can watch all of them. Now, some people like watching old newscasts, so there it'll be. It's a record, sort of what's been going on here in Urbana and Champaign and some other places. I've done some national and international news, not so much of that tonight, but a little. So if you have any questions about that, you can email them to me at newsview@email.com. And if you like going to any of the places in Champaign, maybe you recognize some of the places in the open, which I taped. Some of you are sure to recognize some of them at least, I think. Especially the Assembly Hall, and there's a brief shot of Memorial Stadium in there, too. I think it turned out well, not quite as well as I'd hoped, but um, it's pretty good, I think, the open. And the music, again, I bought at sounddogs.com. So if any of you are producing anything, you can find music there for your show or movie or whatever. It's one place anyway, and it's where I go. I don't make any money off that, so I'm just saying. Um, and I forgot to put that in the credits, but I don't think I will this week. Maybe I will. So, Champaign Urbana Champaign, we've seen a lot. We got a lot of cold weather this winter, and it's going to be another cold one Friday night and a Saturday morning. It could get down to at least 5 degrees for the low. Might not get that low, might get lower, I don't know, but we'll call it 10 degrees just in case, because I think the other is like 14 degrees, and the one report is 5. So we might hit 10 or lower. We'll see. And I'd just like to say thank you again for watching, and I hope you have. I hope you like the ads now, the break. I'm trying that this time. I'd like to see it happen again, and get more. And what do you think of this? Huh? I've got a hood here that goes up, so I'm ready for the cold, and you'll be ready for the cold too, because it's going to be a cold one. Probably, yeah. It's going to be cold. Well, I'm Michael Badger, and this is NewsView. Send any tips to newsview@email.com, and thanks again for watching. Good night.